Hi, my name is Beth Hiley here for Board Game Geek at SPIEL 17. I'm sitting down with Malher Huck and Lorenzo Silva, and both of you from Horrible Games with the gorgeous Dragon Castle.
Okay, Dragon Castle is a game based on Mahjong solitaire version. So, in the game we have a set, almost full set of Mahjong tiles that you can see here. These beautiful tiles.
Yeah, beautiful and nice, thick plastic pieces here.
And in every game, we build a castle in the center of the table. We have boards, depending on the number of players, that tells us how to build a castle. This is the wrong side. Anyway, because we can also create our own castle or one of the many available different castles that we suggest in the rulebook. As you can see, many different crazy shapes.
So actually every shape has a different feel. So for who is asking if it has an effect on gameplay, it has.
Now, is there any sort of shadings in the rule book there about that this one will give you this particular feel, or do you let people explore that on their
just
own?
the title and the suggested player count.
Okay, the game, in the game, the central Dragon Castle is falling apart, and we are the neighboring regions around the castle, and we try to collect the people that is going resource that is going away. Well, it's an abstract game. I'm just the story is just no sense. Well, we collect resource and we try to build the new Dragon Castle of the region. Every turn, the player has three options. The first option is to pick one tile from the topmost level of the castle and one identical tile from anywhere in the castle. The tiles that you take must always be available, and this means that the tiles has to be one long side free. So you pick the tiles from the long side. So the first option, for example, I could pick this tile and this one, and the two tiles need to be exactly the same, not just the same color, also the same symbol. Second option is to pick one tile from the topmost level, and you can collect one shrine, pagoda.
Shrine.
One of your choice.
We had so many names for that.
Yeah, we used something like 20 different names during the playtesting, and now every time we call it in a different way. Anyway, so I can take, for example, this one, and I collect one roof, and I place the roof in my roof area. Roof storage. The third option is to pick a tile from the topmost level, discard it, and collect 1 point. This is suboptimal option in a sense, but it could be quite useful to counter the other player during the game.
Okay, I can talk about how you build actually your castle, because you take the resources away and you build your own castle, right? So let's say you already have some tiles that are turned face down, and I will explain how this happened. You take some tiles, let's say we are doing green here, and or red, I will just
Sorry to move that away from you.
I will just take some tiles here. And okay, you took two identical tiles. How can you place them however you want? You also can place them on top of other tiles, but they have to be face down. Okay? You could not place it on top of an existing face-up tile. Okay. So you create your little castle you're building on top, right? And let's say then you take other tiles. Now I don't have
Yeah,
to,
you
to
can
make
cheat.
I cheat and don't do a legal move.
Right.
Okay, let's say now I took these two and I placed them like this. Okay, now I have a four of a kind of connected pieces that are the same color. Okay, when I have this, and the height doesn't matter, so it just, you look from the top and it just has to be connected orthogonally. When you have four or more tiles that have the same color, you have to consolidate them, and that's, you have to consolidate them, it's not a choice, which means you have to turn them face down. Okay, then depending on the color of the tiles you flipped, you look at these. For depending on the color of the tiles you picked, you can place one or two roofs on top of the building you just did
There's where
With-
we want our roofs.
from the available area. So that means these were red, so I can place only one roof, and maybe I'm going to put it here. Roofs give you points at the end of the game, depending on the height. So, and yeah, but you cannot build on top of the roofs, right? So you are limiting yourself. Also, sets give you points depending on how big they were. So I now did one of four tiles,
Right.
which is 2 points, but actually I can do bigger sets, up to I mean 8 maybe. That give
Right,
me
because
8
you could have
points.
placed one in the middle that maybe
Yeah.
joined up a
That's
bigger
the
roof.
point. So you can have 3 here, 3 there, place 1 in the middle, and you start the chain, which then gives you a lot of points. So there are 2 tensions. One is to build big sets, and the other one is to go high and put shrines, right? So you always have to choose how to move.
That's two opposite direction that always you have to decide in which direction you want to push.
Okay.
And
This is the base game, right?
yeah, this is the base game. We suggest to play the game for the first game in this way, only with these rules. But the real game introduce the animal spirits like this, and at the beginning, and the dragon spirits
Are
at the beginning of the game. You choose one animal spirit and one dragon, and you put it in the middle of the table, like this and this, for example. The animal spirit is a special power that every player can use for this game that change the rules of the game. For example, with the octopus, you always have to spend one roof from your board or a visible tile from your board to activate the power. If you do it, for example, with this power, you can pick 2 tiles of the same color but with a different symbol. So I could take these 2. Okay. There are 10 different powers, so there are a lot of replayability. That's correct.
well done.
Okay. And the dragons are an additional way to score points at the end of the game. For example, this one is very easy. It's 1 additional point for every roof you place on the border of your realms.
So actually, the thing is, we have simple ones that have the lantern, but then you can bring the game to another level, because we have some powers are related, some objectives are related to the numerical values of the tiles. So it's actually introducing new mechanics. So where you also look at the face-up tiles on your board, okay? And some objectives are structural. So like this is about symmetry, okay?
Right.
And your mind will.
Yeah, your mind will go. But the point is, we designed this so that there is no conflict between the dragons. So you can play with 1 dragon. Maybe you are crazy enough to play with 2, or maybe also with 3 or 4.
Maybe with 10.
Or maybe with 10. I think that with 3, you're going to have a meltdown. And the same is for powers. So actually, you have all these possible combinations of powers and objectives, plus all the possibilities with how you want to set up your castle.
That's a tricky balance to have all those not trip over themselves.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Well, was there any particular inspiration? I mean, are you guys big fans of Mahjong that you wanted to use that as the inspiration for?
We played. I played personally a lot of the Mahjong version, the Mahjong solitaire version on the computer. That it's not really Mahjong, but
Right, yeah, the sort of the matching
yeah,
removal
exactly.
game, yeah.
And the goal was to create a game with a very cool component and a very easy mechanic, but with a great option and a great deepness in choices and opportunity.
Yeah, we want to strike on like the largest possible range of people. So people that just want to have some fun creating little sets and taking tiles, and gamers that want to push the game on another level, be competitive, steal the pieces the other player wants, and try to maximize everything. So, and I think we kind of got to that point to have this balance.
Yeah. Well, if you guys want to check that out, this is Dragon Castle, which is from Horrible Games, and thank you both for letting us take a quick look.
Thanks to you.
Thank you.
Bye.